connecting.
Let's go, 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 let's go.
You know the frequency, yeah, you know the frequency. Come on, you know the frequency, yeah, you know the frequency.
I've been upgrading my frequency. I've been protecting my energy. I've been upgrading my frequency. No matter what, I protect my energy.
We off the grid.
Yes. We are back. You're listening to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio, where we're leading into vibrational experiences. I'm your host, B. Cotta.
Double D, Derek Demers.
Charlie Perry filling in for
Jake Locke. And we got our program director out in the background, Evan Ray, Jake Locke, Jasmine.
How many sick days she has?
Yeah, she got a lot of sick days. She's running out of those things, yo.
Miss you, Jazz.
Oh, man. That's all right. She wants to get a day with no pay. What's going on, guys? We had a week off last week, and now we're back in the studio on WMB1 Radio. Download the app. Download the app, WMB1 Radio. If you're watching us on Facebook Live. So what's going on, guys?
How's everyone doing?
Doing good, man. Patriots probably losing 60-0 or 60-3 last time.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough this year.
It's gonna be tough.
You know, it was funny. I was watching the game earlier today, and there was a couple of young gentlemen that was watching it, and their perspective of the Patriots is totally different. We was talking about the Tuckman game, right? Mm-hmm. And they were like, they wanted to comment, and it was like, wait a minute, how old were you when? And come to find out, obviously it was 24 years ago. The kid was 24.
Yeah.
So all he's seen, when you listen to them talk about the Patriots, all they seen was the Patriots win.
Yeah.
So now they're looking at like the Kansas City Chiefs winning, and they're like, oh, the refs are giving them all the calls and all this stuff. So, you just know the Patriots were winning. So now you had to see other teams that's in the position that the Patriots were in. Now you think that, oh, they're against you. It's just funny because they never really experienced the Patriots winning, and it's funny how much you realize how long the Patriots were winning, because it's a couple of generations, you know?
Yeah, it's true. Like my brother Kevin was a Yankees fan, so growing up, he was very, very, he experienced the championships. I was a Red Sox fan. I wasn't experiencing it, but I didn't know how he was feeling for, being a fan of a successful team until the Patriots started winning.
Yeah,
really. So, but a lot of people just going off of videos. They don't have any personal recollection other than watching a video on YouTube or Instagram.
A lot of championships around here in the last 20 years, 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of championships.
I mean, not just the Patriots.
Yeah.
The Celtics, the Red Sox, Bruins had a couple, I think, right? So we've been fortunate.
Yeah, so true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny how the generations look at it. They just look at football in a totally different perspective.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. But we have a very, very good show like we do every single week. We're all well rested from taking a week off. It kind of sucks where I was on vacation for that week and now I got to go back to work. That's not a good feeling. But hey, guess what? I'm on vacation again 2 weeks after that.
So get it in.
So I got something to look forward to.
Yeah, good for you. Good for you.
So what do we have for the news today?
So I got 3 topics. I got a national story, a state story, and a local story.
Okay. All right.
All right.
And then I got a couple of topics. We're gonna talk about that Diddy guy, man. Diddy or did he? I don't know. We're gonna get into it. And then I have a question. We like to throw in some dating questions and stuff like that. I like to know your opinion about a specific question. You know, dating up and dating down. Is it the same when it comes to, you know, women and men? And we're gonna give out some examples of that aspect of dating up and dating down. It goes, you know, is it different between men and women, and how is it different? But how we what we do in the beginning of our show, we have a new segment now. We have Charlie Perry on with our cast. We have thing called the Frequency Report with Charlie Perry. I got to get you a theme song, you know, but it's coming. But this is the frequency report. These are things that are trending, if it's locally, statewide, or nationally, that we will comment. We won't really get really deep into it, but something that we want to comment on and see if any of us have comments about what Charlie has picked out for us. So what do you have for us for the frequency report, Charlie?
Okay, we got this week. It's just one report and one subject rather, and it's the offshore wind energy. New Bedford has positioned itself as a hub of offshore wind energy, with several companies leasing space along the maritime terminal, and so it's emerging to be a strong hub along the northeast and pretty much mid-east. It's becoming a hub for many companies, and they're trying to grab all this different real estate, or at least lease something in the mass terminal down there. So I like it. It's creating some jobs, and I say more the merrier. Too many years and decades we've been in a black box around there. We could only work at certain factories, get on a fishing boat, you know, do different things. So I'm glad that they're bringing something new for a young person or older person, because they have many educational programs in the local universities around there. So that's my subject, you know.
Yeah, so it would definitely create jobs. I hope it should go out, help get jobs for local people.
Yeah.
Not bringing in other people.
Well, that's when the longshoremen come in, and the local, like I tell everybody, join the local longshoremen, which is a union, and they can look and advocate for you to get jobs along the waterfront, and also get your TWIC card. It's TWIC. You take a test, you pay $150, and that TWIC card can get you on any waterfront in the whole country. And so it's worth it.
You know, like there's a lot of new things like going on in the city, that's coming to the city. I think we spoke on it, like even with the waterfront. I think that the waterfront is going to be like the mini seaport that you see in Boston in probably the next 5 to 10 years. So this is, you know, and I'm sure, you know, one of the things is jobs like this is going to bring certain people down here where that's going to be more of a necessity. I just want to comment on the frequency report is that, like, I'm noticing like the city is changing. The city, I believe, I could be wrong, Charlie. You can correct me on this.
It is.
The city is changing. It's different people here. It's I'm not sure if it's for the better or for the worse yet, but you could tell the city is changing. It's like, not to be funny about it, when you start seeing Asians looking for property in that area, just something they see a way of making money, and that's what you're starting to see that it's changing. And I'm not sure if it's changing for the better, because I'm biased, because, you know, the city that I grew up in and how it was back then, you know.
Well, I think that the attraction is basically economics, and the jobs are going to be here, the train's going to be here, and it brings a population here, just like where we kind of took off and gone to different parts of the country or the state, you know, and some of our friends and family have never come back, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the same thing. We have a draw, and the draw is jobs. So and real estate, you know, uh, talking to guys like Derek, you know, to grab a great property and secure your spot in this area for a lifetime, you know. So I just think that it's going to be good only because if they're grabbing things around there, that's because somebody around here doesn't want it, whether it be a job or real estate.
I mean, I think this thing too is with like New Bedford or any city for that matter, it's affordable.
Yeah, yeah.
So when people come here, like, you know, I'm hoping it's jobs too, but some of it is because they can't afford to live in some of these towns around, you know.
Mhm.
So it's
Yeah.
gonna naturally bring people to the city, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it make sense to live here?
Yeah.
And save $600 in your pocket when it comes to rent or mortgage,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and then guess what? Hop on the train and go to work in
Yep.
Boston, you know, and bring that money back here.
Yep.
I totally get that, the dynamic, the reasons why, and I don't blame them too. It's just that it's, you know, when you bring in different type of mindset, different type of, you know, way of living,
Mm-hmm.
and you're changing what is probably what's best about this community. Because the people are changing, because it kind of skeptical, but maybe that's just my bias. But I see, you know, different changes. Even a lot of the violence in the city
Mm-hmm.
is being done by people that's not from here, you know, and they're bringing that big city mindset down here, which is killing what is so valuable in this area, you know. So I don't know. Is it remain to be seen? Change is going to change. It's going to change anyway. You know, you just gotta, you know, pay attention to all what's going on. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a commercial break, and we're going to come back with the news with Double D, and we're going to start our conversation, our topics. So we'll be right back after these commercial break. Yes, we are back. We are back from a commercial break, and let's get right into it. We're gonna have the news with Double D, Derek Demar. The news with Double D.
All right. Appreciate that. I am going to start with my national news, and that is Kamala visiting the border for the first time since 2021. She went to Arizona. She was talking tough. She was talking tough on the border. I don't know if you guys like saw this conversation or not, but she was definitely talking tough.
What would she have to say?
She said she's going to crack down on the border. She said the border is out of control.
Mm-hmm.
She said fentanyl is coming through the border. She said people, they got to put a stop to it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just curious I'm just curious, like, I want to ask you guys, because for 3.5 years, she said the border was secure. So do you think she was lying for 3.5 years, or do you think she was lying the other night when she said that it's out of control?
I don't think she said the border is secure.
She said the border is secure for 3.5 years. They both, their whole administration, the border secure. The border secure.
So if the borders, they were saying the border secure, why they're trying to create a bill to secure the border?
So right. So why are they telling people that that it's secure. And the bill came, I think, like kind of like summertime. So like the 3 years prior, the border has always been secure.
Mm-hmm.
And Charlie knows about this too, because like fentanyl is running rampant in our country.
Sure
It's
is.
coming and it's largely coming across the border, is it not?
Yeah.
No, you know better than I do.
Mhm.
Coming through the border.
It's coming through the border, but because the southern border is easy access, it's an easier way to get into this country, or not an easier way, but it's the preferred way, right? Especially if you have other countries like China that have China goes into Mexico and can kind of just push it up north, and so. But it's the border that's the most easiest accessible to our country. You know,
I mean, yeah, the fentanyl problem, that's a big problem.
it is. It's gone to between 250 to 300 people, dying a day.
A day.
Yeah.
A day.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm not trying to beat up on Kamala or like the administration, but it's like when she spoke about fentanyl being an issue the other night, because I listened to it, I watched it on TV. Like I never heard that from them for 3.5 years.
Mhm.
Like honestly, I didn't. I think it was like summer. Berto brings up the bill. That's the first time I heard about like the being an issue with the border, and now fentanyl.
Well, a lot of the grassroots organizations in each state, each town, are basically calling their local and state politicians, and now it's become a huge outcry.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of rallies, especially in the Washington D.C. area. A lot of groups are traveling to get there to kind of protest in D.C. and also in the state houses in each state. So it's if you're a politician and you're not talking about it, then that should raise a red flag of who you're voting for.
Yeah.
And I think in this case, she's finally probably getting an aggressive amount of people talking to her, and that issue's coming up.
Well, it's even like your friends, your people that you host on the show,
Yes.
right? They've had a situation like that. They speak on it. So it takes that kind of activity from people reaching out. But when you think about the numbers, 250 a day.
Yeah.
That's if you break it down, 5 per state per day. That's a lot of people dying of just fentanyl. That's not anything else. That's a lot, and that should be that's an issue just on itself to close the border, in my opinion.
And it's in every single recreational drug you can think of.
Yeah.
Fentanyl is being laced in that certain drug. So it's dangerous, and you might be a person that, wants to chill out and kind of get high off marijuana, but you know what? You got to watch out where you're getting it from.
Right.
It's very, very important. If it's legal here, so guess what? Go to a dispensary, and that's where you get your recreational drug.
Yeah.
To keep yourself safe.
So, like, I was like, even when we was talking about like, you never heard her spoke on this, and she probably said that. I'm not too educated on the history of what she has said, because obviously she was the vice president, and I know it's a political strategy of trying to tie her in with Biden, and I feel like that's kind of unfair.
What do you mean tie her in?
Because it's like it's almost like, all right, she did this, but nobody talks about like, all right, like how Pence was when he was with Trump. You're not giving Pence credit or discredit of what he did as a vice president, because you can't really say what he did.
Yeah, but he never ran for president after.
But it's the point is like she's the vice president. Now she's running for the presidency, and now she's having a voice.
So can I ask you a question?
Okay.
Just because you mentioned it.
Okay.
Do you think that, so was she saying things just to say things because she was a vice president? Like when she said Bidenomics is working and we're proud of it, just because she say it because Bidenomics is working?
She's part of that Biden team. She has to say that, So I think she was she would say that because she's that number 2 on the team, right? So if
But isn't
she
it,
couldn't, but she couldn't, like, if President Biden was saying something, right,
Mm-hmm.
and then the vice president contradicts it, that's not good for the team, right?
That's not good for the team. Like to
She's
like
still the vice president.
to
Yeah.
speak on that. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah.
understand your point, right? You don't want to be saying two different things out there.
Yeah.
But I mean, to say like the vice president doesn't have any say, I don't know. Like you don't think they have conversations about stuff?
They have conversation about stuff, but I don't think that is really like y'all there to support the president.
But listen, I mean, you and I have conversations about like the radio show.
Yeah.
Like you're not like, yo, this is how we're doing it. We have conversation like, hey, you know, listen,
Yeah.
and I give you my 2 cents. Hey, bro, I'd like to do it like this.
Yeah.
I don't just like okay, everything that you say.
No, you
You
don't.
think she's doing that the same everything Biden says?
But I don't think that is like she's every decision that he's gonna make that she's in the room all the time. Like I don't think that's where I think that she has her responsibilities and things that even that she got to focus on. There's so much things, and that's what people are like. I don't think people realize, and really like I think people do realize if you sit down and think all the responsibilities it take to run like this administration, run the country. And this is why like one of my favorite shows was The West Wing.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And you have to watch The West Wing, and people just watch The West Wing just to educate yourself how the White House works. All right. And when you're watching The West Wing, you very rarely see or hear the vice president. What you're gonna see is all his advisors, his lawyers, his speechwriters, the secretary of what's the one that the one that
State.
no the second the one that secretary of that handles the press. What's that person's name? What's that secretary?
That'd just be a press secretary.
The press secretary, on the chief of staff.
Yeah.
These are the things that all these people, to even get to the president, you got to get to these people. There's no way it was like, all right, I want to talk to the president. Let me knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much stuff that he has his hands in that he, even if it's a congressman, it could be the top congressman. You just don't go up to the president's door. No, like you got to speak to their advisors and everything like that. It's their job. That's why I always say, like, we are voting for an administration, not for a person, So you got to be aware of the people that they have around this particular person. So do I think that Kamala Harris could be, it's in at a lot of these meetings? Yeah, sure. But a lot of times she's probably not, because she's other things that she got to focus on for him.
So you think that everything she's saying now, that she like pivoted to like the middle to try to, like, in my mind, get people to vote for her, they're in the middle. You think that's where she's gonna stay? Or is she just saying it to get
No,
vote?
I don't think so. I think and I don't want her to stay on what she thinks, because it's fluid, because things change, It's you may say this, then all of a sudden, like, you get and you try to deal with it, and it's like, I want to do it, but I can't do it. So what can I do? There's a lot of things that she may want to change, but I can't get it through Congress.
Mm-hmm.
But she's the face, so everybody's gonna blame her because she can't get it done. Because a lot of people don't understand the dynamic of how this country works. We have branches of government to protect ourselves from corruption and to protect ourselves from, becoming a communist country. So yeah, as a president, I could want this bill, or I want this policy, I want this done, but I got to get it passed through, and I'm this House and Senate and invite and all that stuff. So do I think that she's gonna get everything she wants to do done? No president does.
So do you think it's because the topic is the border?
Yeah.
In Arizona, that's like the number one. I think that's the number one topic this election season, right? So do you think she's gonna like crack down on it if she gets elected, or do you think she's gonna like fall back?
I think she's gonna push on that bill that was denied in the first place. I think she's gonna start there. She's gonna push that bill. Will she tweak it? So she'll probably try to tweak it or help tweak it so it can get passed, so we can start getting a better system there. Yeah.
You know what would guarantee a Kamala, if I'm hoping I'm saying that right, Kamala election or win, would guarantee her a win if they just shut the border right now.
You can't do that.
Yeah, they can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. You don't need this thing to shut the border.
Why do you think that? I was waiting for this conversation because I researched this. It says, why do you think they could? Why do you think they could do that?
Why do you think they can't? He's the president of the United States.
So you
an executive
so
order.
you think Trump will do that?
Executive order close the border. He did it already.
No, he didn't.
They undid it.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
The reason this is what he did. He made an executive order, and he tried to shut it down. The courts wouldn't allow him to shut it down. He temporarily shut it down. The reason why he was able to shut it down is because of COVID. Because under the Constitution, he can make that executive order. If COVID never existed, he wasn't able to make that executive order to shut it down. But he only shut it down temporarily. That's the facts, and people not understanding that. You cannot just shut down the border completely because you got trade going through there too. So if you're
trade, listen, there's no trade. There's people walking over the border.
There's trade.
With their fentanyl.
There's things that's a problem. I'm not denying that, and that's why we need a better border system. But shutting down the border it can't happen, and because if we shut that border completely, there's a lot of trade going.
No, there's trade. The trade they have their how they go in and out with the trade products, right?
So you want to shut down the borders, but you just
I want to shut down where there's people sneaking in with their backpacks, like through the holes in the fences. That's what I want to. All right,
so let me better understanding. What is shutting down the border to you?
Have our border agents don't let anyone in. Like, stay there.
So if you have a bill, like she said, that's going to give you more border agents, so you can do that.
I know, but the thing, listen, I don't know if this was politics or not.
Yeah.
I think it's politics on both sides. You want to say it's Trump's? Oh, Trump called people. Yo, don't allow that bill to pass. Okay, fine. Yeah. You know what? They didn't need to put in, more billions going to Ukraine. Part of that bill was we'll allow 5,000 people a day, because if the border is the serious issue, let's just discuss the border. Let's have a bill about the border, not Ukraine.
But this is what I'm saying, where it's so difficult to run the administration. Things are not just black and white. All right, let's not give billions to Ukraine, okay? And then Putin takes over Ukraine. You think he's stopping there? Then you're gonna end up being a bit, but you gotta balance it. It sucks because there is no right way to do all this stuff. It's not. It's a hard situation.
It's because it's politics, and the American people suffer because they use these politics, and the American people suffer. Listen, how many bills do you think they have in the course of, say, a year or an administration? A bazillion, right? They have a bunch of bills. Well, make a bill about the border, just the border. Make a bill just about the border.
But they can't even. But they're not even working on bills to protect us. But they'll have these damn stupid hearings. You're having hearings about the Secret Service. Just take care of the Secret Service. Why do you gotta have it? It's supposed to be secret. Yeah. So you know something? Have that behind closed doors. Do your job. That time could have been used to create bills. There's a
lot of ways.
That's what I'm saying. So when you're worried about, oh yeah, it goes, oh, they're wasting our money, wasting our time doing that, and we're entertained. Goes, yeah, they're entertaining us with that stuff, but nothing's getting done.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah,
all the money that we pay in taxes, they're so wasteful. Government is so wasteful. Besides giving, listen, I want to give money to Ukraine. I don't want Russia to take over. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
we just gave like 80 more
billion. I feel you.
It's billion.
Yeah,
and we got people outside here homeless,
but
they can't eat right now.
100%. I'm with you. This is why it's so hard to find a solution for everything.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? It's so hard, and it's like, all right, we got to deal with Ukraine. We got to deal with the border. We got to deal with economy. You got to deal with food. We got to deal with like healthcare. That's a lot, man. It's a lot, and people and Trump talks that it's so easy to do. No, it's not, man. It's not easy to do, and to a point where it's like you want to have the smartest people around you. That's why I brought up the West Wing, because you had the smartest people around you, because you're one man. You cannot make all these decisions. You got to be able to depend on these people and trust these people that they have the best interest in your interest as a president and the country.
I hear you.
You see what I'm saying? So it's hard. And when people talk about politics, they think it's just black and white. Just start the border. do this, do that. It's not that easy.
Listen, I understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
My point is, though, I think sometimes if you want to take care of a problem,
Mhm.
take care of a problem. Like if you want to say fix the school system,
Yeah.
fix the school system. Not trying to do 10 things at once with a bill. That's all. That's my point.
And I agree. I mean, because when President Trump tried to do things, there was some snags, right?
Mhm.
And he started building a wall that's partial, and there was some problems with that. Biden's trying to do things. There's still problems existing. The only way they're going to get it fixed is if they collaboratively get together as a team and fix this. But as a primary goal or accomplishment that they're trying to do as a country, they need to get together and do it. And the only way they're going to do it is pretty much similar to what they're doing now. You see people coming together, whether it's to vote for somebody like Kamala Harris. There's Republicans coming on the side. They're saying country instead of party, so on and so forth. I get that, but guess what? Do that with other things. You talked about the homeless. You talked about the border. They need to get together as a team, like we knew when we were growing up how politics was.
Yeah.
There wasn't all this craziness.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I agree.
I wish that they would come together so we can have a little bit more respect, because we're getting a lot of disrespect around the world, just based on this chaos and this division that we have now. And so people just don't want to, they just don't believe us all the time,
Yeah.
you know? And they were going through that with, and overseas over the pond and United Kingdom and stuff. And they kind of jumped on it, and so you don't see all that bickering too much. But anyways, Derek, it's a good point, and I think that politics will change, just like the weather, when it comes to different things and issues. And I think both candidates are going to change.
Maybe I'll try to get Kamala on the show. She can tell us what her policies are going to be.
Yeah.
Can I move on to the next subject, or you got something else to add?
No, I wanted to add like I just picked it. I did quick Google search, and it said, it goes, Trump temporarily closed the border because he was able to. I forgot under what article, because we were going through a pandemic in 2020, and what he did was he closed the border for any regular people, but other than commercial trade. He was able to do that. I think it was Article 19 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. That he was able to temporarily close it. He was in office 4 years before then, and he couldn't do it. He tried to do it, but the courts wouldn't allow it because it's unconstitutional.
Mm-hmm.
So
the second time was a health issue.
Yeah, the second time was a health, and he was able to do it the second time. So it's like when people say, "Oh, just close the border," it's not that easy. We're not going in a pandemic. It's not a pandemic this time, so we're not going to be able to close the border. So we legit got to come up with a system and a policy to protect that border. I agree, it needs to be done, but I do think that we're still going through what we're going through because Trump put his hand in it because he wants to run in it. It's getting to a point too. It's starting to a point where he can't even run on the economy anymore, because now the way the economy is looking.
How's it looking?
Because I think it's getting better. Like interest rates just drop down. Like it's not going to get. I'm not saying it's going to get down to like the way it was during the pandemic when nobody was working. But it's getting better. It's like when you look at, and I the way I look at the economy, that's another subject.
Yeah, we can't talk about that right now.
Okay, go ahead.
We can't get into that. Okay, my next subject is a state story.
Yeah.
State police. I think it's kind of big for our state. The Mass State Police. Governor Haley just announced that they hired a new lieutenant colonel to run the Mass State Police. I think this is the first time that they hired someone outside of Mass State Police, right? They normally like bring someone up the chain of command, right? So they went out, they did a national search. I feel because they, all the shit with the Mass State Police, right? There's a lot, right? I mean, it's just, I'm a big police supporter, got a lot of friends, but let's just face it, there's a lot of shit that's, gone down or whatever. And the Karen Reed trials and, probably like the latest one, right? So they got a new colonel, which I think probably could be good for the Mass State Police.
Yeah, I've been through that a a couple of times, different administrators that came within the that came from outside the city and ran the police department, and it's it's a good way to get things straightened out because now there's a new boss in
Like with no ties, right? With like no ties,
ties.
you know.
However, there are ties, and that's the misconception, right? Because even though they hire someone from the outside, they still got to go to the governor. They still have
Yeah.
to talk to.
Oh,
So
because
they're still kind
so
of.
that's the boss. You're saying like the
Yeah,
governor's the boss. Yeah.
she'll be the governor. So I mean, she'll be the boss. And in the case, I think that it works because it gets some things fixed.
Yeah.
It has a different mindset. But guess what? If some men and women don't want to do things a certain way, then they put a like a cog, they put a wrench in the cog, and
Yeah.
kind of mechanism, and so you got to fight that for a little while. But it's all in all, we got a job to do, and it may change, it may not be the same routine stuff, but I think that it will work out.
Yeah. This guy's from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I think he was like just recently retired, but now they got him back in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll be a good fix. And just to your point, I do feel like I'm always like a positive person, and I feel like they have this group that a search committee. They got a search committee that try to get someone. They recommend a few people. So yes, it's the governor Haley is like the main boss and maybe the one that like picked it. But I feel like you have a search committee based upon like different people
Mm-hmm.
that bring in. So I don't think it's just like her trying to find her person where she can like what I mean.
And it like I said, it will work. It's gonna change things because that's what they want is change. So guess what? You have someone else come in and change it up a little bit. But it's always gonna revert back to the normal regime, right?
Yeah.
It's always gonna go back to the people that were there for years. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because people that are transit and come from state to state, that means that they get tired of where they're at,
Right.
and then they move on.
Right.
So eventually it's going to end up coming back to the hometown people eventually. So
I'll just add. I want to add one more thing. The Mass State Police is the largest law enforcement agency in New England.
yeah, it's no joke. Everything you possibly need is right there within that organization when it comes to investigations, when it comes to units. It's I mean, just second to none, in my eyes. So.
Yeah.
My opinion is like I think that like police has started here, right, in this area, like not just like this area, but like in this part of
the New England area. Yep.
New England area, police. So obviously, I have the utmost respect for any officer on any level, if it's city, state, or federal, in this area, because police has started here. Like a lot of state police across the country come here to learn from them. So it's a great police force, but again, it has its flaws because of what I always say: we are human, and we are flawed. And a lot of things has come to light over the years when it comes to the state police, when you have the officers lying about the details, that where guys were literally like working 2 hours, saying they're working 8 hours and making $300,000 a year on taxpayers' money. You know what I'm saying? Like things like that. Like y'all literally like these are officers opposed to like policing, but who's policing them? And I think that's when it started. Things like that. That's when it started. Where there's a lot of things internal. We had a recruit who passed away, and listening to those details is kind of like, wait a minute, the way he was, like, I guess he had a broken neck, tooth out. Like, I have one of my best friends is a state trooper, and he told me the rigorous of that training, and especially the boxing, and I think it's like kind of MMA fighting and everything like that. He said, and now this my best friend went into boot camp. And he says the state police academy is worse than boot camp, the military. So you gotta, you understand how difficult it is to get to that point and get through it. And you understand and respect the power these people have, but they also are human. They're flawed, and I think that there's a lot of things going on in there where it needs to be fixed because it's almost, it's not being represented the way it should be represented. And having this person come in, an outside person, because this, like, I went to my friend's graduation, right? And I'm sitting back and I'm noticing. This is what I'm noticing. They'll announce a new recruit. And they'll announce a new recruit, and it goes, his father's a state trooper, this and that. His grandfather's a retired. A lot of that. It was a lot of that.
Yep.
So you're having generations of this power, which is not fair.
Hold on. What do you mean not fair? Like,
if you're a state trooper, right? And then you're a state trooper, then your father's a state trooper. And he goes, and then your grandfather's a state trooper. Like that's what's the word I'm looking for?
You would think it like, I think you're leading towards nepotism but from what I see and when things like that happen, it's because that's what's taught, that
you're following your father's footsteps,
following it, and so you're way ahead of the game. And it's not easy getting on the state police.
Yeah, but I mean, because I kind of disagree with Berto a little bit, because like firefighters, you got like generation of firefight, grandfather, father. Not now. I'm going into the same thing, military. Even same thing, maybe like a chef. Hey, my dad was a chef. You get into it because that's what that's what you're around all your life. I think the same thing with policing.
But that's where I think where you're having the position of authority. I don't think you should have that, because then you could create a small little culture, a small little clique just by that, when it shouldn't, and it's not purposely done. I'm not saying they're doing it purposely. Like and UPS, they used to have a rule. Remember when we first started at UPS, your brother couldn't work with you. No,
your family members.
There's a reason why. Because you didn't want to develop that clique, that thing. There's a reason why. But now,
yeah, but hold on. But are you saying like your brother couldn't work with the UPS because you could start stealing shit?
No.
Is it?
It's a conflict of. It could be a conflict of interest. It's almost like with our supervisors. Like our supervisors only stay now because it's so hard to get people to work. It goes. But back in the day, our supervisors only stood in that building a certain amount of time.
2 years and then they move
because
on.
you can't they don't want to develop too deep of a relationship where the company can't run the way they want it to run, because then you create conflict of interest, if that's the word I'm using for. You know what I'm saying? So it's when it comes to positions like that, I think you got to be very, very, very careful of going down that rabbit hole when you have 3-4 generations of state troopers, because you're creating each person in that family that gets into state to be a state trooper, you're gaining like a little bit power.
Well, that's when you have background investigations and you know, as long as people are on the up and up, I just think that they'll be able to weed out a lot of things, because just because you're related to one doesn't mean you're going to be the best candidate for the job. And that background kind of eliminates a lot of things. Sometimes things are not said in the background investigations, but when a background investigator starts going around and starts talking to people, friends, family, students, people that have problems with a kid, because sometimes, if you're a kid of a law enforcement officer, some chances are you didn't get in too much trouble because things got taken care of, right? So, but when it comes to like in a background investigation, things could get a little bit, because when, Derek might have perceived me over the years as somebody that was, or me and you had an incident, and then you come out of woodwork and said, "Hey, I heard Charlie's a candidate for state police." Now you come up and you say something. Well, this is what he did. We had a party, drinking. He hit me with a bottle over my head, blah, blah, blah. He's not a good candidate. And that's when I think that background investigators are able to eliminate some people. But Bertold is it's give and take. More or less. There's sometimes you can create a culture, but I think that all in all now,
You don't think it's possible that you can't create when you hire generation of people, especially one family, and it was noticeable. It wasn't just like one.
Yeah.
It was very noticeable. You
And-
know what I'm saying? So it's almost like you're creating a culture within a culture. And I understand is like your father's, you want to follow your father's footsteps, and I get that. But when you're talking to about a position like that has so much power, you got to be careful how far down that rabbit hole you're gonna go to, because we as humans, the more power we have, we may use it for bad. I'm not saying all will. I'm not saying all are, but the possibility is there. So you got to eliminate the possibility. Don't try to create a solution when the problem already started. You want to have a solution that the problem will never start. And I think that when you are hiring, and I don't know if these are issues that they have. I'm just saying what I experienced and what I noticed going to this graduation is like there's a lot of family members are getting it.
I don't really see a problem with it.
It's
It's my opinion, because I feel
it's a badge of honor. You kind of want to follow the footsteps of your grandfather, your
Tradition.
father.
yeah,
Tradition.
right. Tradition.
And there's many families that I know just in this area that follow the footsteps of their, as far as their grandfather. And
Yeah, the Turgeons.
yeah, and so that's almost every male in their family has been a police officer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So and
But isn't that a culture within a culture though?
Mm.
I'm
Well,
not saying
the-
their culture is bad, but isn't that a culture within a culture?
well, they have two alliances, to their family and to their colleagues, right? So and I just think that it's more of a tradition, and it's in especially with their family, you look at it and from dad, and it just goes so many generations.
Mhm.
You almost have 100 years of police officers, right? And
Mhm.
so it's just one of those things. I think that even with me and my brother, one of my brothers, he scored higher than me, but he didn't want the job. They offered it to him twice. He said, "Nah, I don't want it. I don't want it." And thank God he wasn't.
Mhm. Mhm.
No, only joking. But it's more of a tradition, and I get what you're all saying.
Yeah.
But let's just face it, that state police job, that is something that I wanted, and if I was able to accomplish it, I'd be
It's
one of the most proudest persons in the world.
It's a regular thing to go through. Like trust me, my best friend, one of my best friends, went through it, and him coming out every weekend and him telling me what he has to go through, and he said it's harder than boot camp.
Did you talk to your buddy like about this kid dying? Did you have a conversation?
No,
about
I
that,
haven't.
or-
I haven't talked
Yeah.
to him, and he's a recruiter,
Yeah.
and he's the one that handles a lot of things that like when they quit. Like, do you have people that quit
Yeah.
the camp? I don't know what they call the boot camp or whatever.
Yeah.
He's the one that signs them out and does
Yeah.
all that transition through. So if he knows anything, he knows. I don't know if he will talk about it. He's very serious about his job.
Right,
You know what I'm saying? Like, he's very serious about his job.
Yeah,
But
things are gonna change, after that
Yeah.
kid.
That'll never happen. I don't think they'll do that boxing thing again, because they just.
Well, they'll
Ah,
make changes.
they
They'll
may
make
change
changes
it.
because even in the military, they have some form of that.
Yeah.
So the state police is semi-military. They want to stay pretty similar to that, and they'll make some adjustments because now they have an investigator, an attorney that's assigned to that investigation. So eventually they're going to tweak it between the governor, the new hire, all of them. They'll tweak their training and say, this is what I don't want to happen anymore. These are the reasons why,
I wonder
the young
about the
recruit
details
best.
of it, because I don't know. Like, I don't want to just read like what's the perception. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So-
I want to know the details, because they put their racial component into it, and I'm a kind of person where I know things like that exist, but I don't like going right to that.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think it was racial. Like, state trooper that I spoke to,
Yeah.
it was like legit. It was a fight.
It was a fun-
You know, like whatever they
Yeah.
MMA style, they go at it, right? Like might get hit in the back of the head, which
Yeah.
which could be traumatic, right?
Mhm.
And the broke tooth might have been like stuffing an incubator in his mouth when he was, gonna die or whatever. So I think it was like legit. But he made a good point to me because I didn't really think about this. So the reason why they like do this fighting, the fight night or whatever they call it, is
I know
because
you're gonna lead to. I know.
no, this was a
Go ahead.
surprise to me because I didn't even realize this, but I think it's a good point. When you have these people trying to be like a state trooper, some of these kids have like never been in a fist fight in their life,
Bingo.
right?
You
I didn't
said
even
it.
think about that
Yeah.
angle. So like, holy shit! So I get it. So before they go out into the real world and like try to like fight people, right? Because that's what they end up doing.
You gotta
sometimes.
know how to handle.
You gotta know how to handle yourself.
Like my best friend is he's a small guy, but he's tough as fuck.
Yeah.
And he would tell me stories where he was like, you had the biggest guy and this and that, and he's whooping their ass.
Yeah.
Because they
Yeah.
never gotten really to fight. Now they're forced to fight. Before you could
That's
probably,
what I'm saying.
you probably intimidate somebody with your size and never fought before.
Yeah.
But now that they're you fighting to fight, and here's this guy, he's like 5'7", and he's kicking your ass.
And then
You
I
know
heard,
what I'm saying?
yeah, 100%. So I think there might have been an incident at like Logan Airport or something where a Mass State Trooper was getting like his ass kicked.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on video, or whatever. So obviously they don't want that to happen. They don't want some guy that can't
Yeah.
handle himself.
And it's very, very important because first of all, they're always by themselves. You got to know how to protect yourself.
Right.
And fighting is what I mean. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
Got to at least know how to throw some hands.
Yep.
Let me hit them once or twice, get them distracted, and then maybe I can do something else or the way I'm trained. Whether it's a taser or a baton or whatever. But it's so true. There's so many men and women that tried to come on the job and never fought in their life.
So can I just say one more thing before I move on to my last story?
Go ahead, man.
I appreciate what you're saying because I always felt like, sometimes like there's cops, not just state troopers, but regular cops, and you're like, oh my god, like that kid was such an asshole in high school. That kid was such a punk, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And you think about that, I'm like, yeah, but I think it takes a special kind of person to like don't mind going over there and fighting people and going into houses, domestic shit, and so I think it takes a
it takes balls. The job
what
is
I'm
not
saying?
easy.
It takes a special person.
Yeah,
I feel
it does.
You
No
need-
question about
You
it.
need the nice, you need the bad, you
Yeah.
need the good,
Yeah.
you need the ugly on the job to take care of certain things that go on. Not trying to violate anybody's rights, but you need all those people.
Yeah, you know firsthand.
Yeah, you just need all those people. Well, all right. Hey, brother, you in first,
Mhm.
and then you go, right? Or, hey, Derek, they're gonna run. They're gonna run when we go to a certain spot. So guess what? I'm driving today, and y'all shotgun and y'all running.
Yeah.
And then you two do the same thing. All right, the runner's gonna be on a passenger. Guess what? Take off. And that's what you do. You do things like that. But no, much respect for the state police and good luck with that new administrator. It's going to be challenging, but you all will be all right.
Now we had it from B Max. He said in 2000 or 99, whatever year, a similar event happened when a recruit died with jogging in extreme hot weather. They tweaked it and wouldn't let anyone run in
Any academies.
Yeah, I think
academies if the temperature is 85 degrees or better. In addition, they added that you must always have. Oh man, I can't really see.
Water bottle with
Water.
Well,
And
yeah.
I believe that was in Agawam, Mass, and it's so true. So they're gonna make some changes. They're gonna make some adjustments with the boxing training and tweak a few things. They're not gonna get rid of it, but they are gonna make some adjustments, like Brian just said.
Yeah, just say Brian, right? His background. I'm sure in corrections, they do the same thing. You learn how to fight before you go behind the wall, right?
Yeah.
All right, my last topic, local. This kind of saddens me. Like recently, there was 2 young kids that passed away suddenly. One kid, I think it was from Peabody, was wrestling practice, and he died suddenly. And someone else just in Somerset Berkeley High School passed away suddenly. Young kids.
Man, amazing. It's we talked off screen, and different things we think it's happening, but when it's a person, period. But when it's a young person, man, you think back when you were 18, 19, and all the things you have able to go through and accomplish. And this kid's 19, whatever the age they were, and their life's gone.
18. It was like 17 and 18. I can't understand like all these young kids dying suddenly. Like I don't remember that when we were growing up. Young kids all of a sudden passing away.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm not a conspiracy person, but is it the vaccines that everyone's taking? I don't know. But
Well, there's more vaccinations now than they've ever been.
before.
So and just getting on medication. It's I mean, I go for my physical, and they're trying to give me 4 or 5 things.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm not. I don't want that. So there is so many things that
and we can talk about big pharma another time because that's a whole nother topic. But like Brodo always says, like money, right? These big pharmas tied into big politicians.
Yeah.
They're not gonna, you know what I mean? So it's but all these vaccines these kids take before they're 6 years old, and that now that it's all in the news.
Yeah.
You can get the flu shot and the vaccine all at the same time or whatever. Every year.
Look at billionaire Mark Cuban's talking about big pharma now.
Yeah.
And getting he's got his own pharmaceutical where it's
Online
cost plus something, I forget what it is, and so it's people got a challenge. Follow the money. I always say follow the money, follow it, man, because but these 2 young kids,
it's so sad.
Yeah, I wish that if you know anything that family, those 2 families need any help, let me know.
Yeah,
maybe I could start something, send something in their direction.
Did he say like the cause of death?
No. So I mean, when I read a couple articles,
Mhm.
they just said suddenly. I mean,
yeah.
Was it during during practice?
One kid was wrestling. It was wrestling practice.
Was wrestling practice?
Like passed, like fell, and that's it.
Yeah, like you have someone like a high profile person like LeBron James' son, who's having heart issues. I don't like you're not wrong by like bringing that up, saying that maybe is the
I mean, college you have to have, I think, vaccinated, like LeBron, Bronny James, whatever. You might have had to get vaccinated to go to USC, and then all of a sudden he's clapped. I mean, he's like, I get it. So I think there has been this before, years ago, whatever.
Yep.
But now it's like all these kids are doing. There's a lot of kids that have passed dying.
Yeah.
Bronny James was lucky that he had cardiac arrest and didn't die. But it's like, I mean, these are like healthy 17, 18-year-old kids. It's weird.
Yeah, something's gonna come up, and they think these supplements are candy.
Yeah, there's another.
It could be that
mixture
right
all that stuff. So
the things just chemicals.
The stuff you put in your body, right? The stuff you put in your body.
What show was that? I forgot what show was about a doctor who you have these rare cases where somebody will mix some type of thing, and next thing you know, they have this issue that is not known that I forgot what show it was. But it seems like as we grow in technology and we're finding out things to replace keyword supplements. You could put that stuff in your body, and but they're chemicals.
Yeah.
So what chemicals are not gonna agree with your body?
Right.
So it could be that too, but that's the same difference we're just saying. It's big pharma.
Yeah.
It's regardless if it's like a health pill or not. So not shout out. Condolences to the family.
Yeah.
To those 2 kids. Is like that's gone too soon, because that's a lot of life not able to live.
Yeah.
It makes you appreciate your own lives. So
that's all I got, brother.
that's all you got. All right, so we're gonna get into come back on music break. We're gonna get into a couple of topics on the back. We're gonna talk about my man Diddy, man. My man Diddy do it. And then we have a cool, fun topic: dating up, dating down. What's the difference between that when it comes to a man and a woman? So we'll be right back, and I'm going to ask you, download the WMB1 radio app, so you can listen to us or listen to the music or listen to Mags in the Morning, listen to all the all the shows that's on WMB1 Radio. And don't forget, also listen to the Really Charlie podcast. When do
Yeah.
you come on again?
Tuesday, 6 o'clock. Either doing it from home or coming in the station.
Mhm.
Is This Tuesday I got a New England weightlifter. He's competing in a competition up in Boston coming up this next month, and so Cape Verdean, Kenneth DeBarros, he'll be on Tuesday,
Mhm.
and so I can't wait. I
Nice.
think his nephew's going to compete too, so if I get two guests, that's going to be nice. But every Tuesday, and I like it.
Yeah.
I like
The Really Charlie podcast on Tuesday. What time?
6 p.m.
6 p.m.
Well, merely 6:30. I try to start at 6:30 because I want to give my guest another 30 minutes to get here, or at least log on when I'm doing it from home.
All right. So we're gonna take a commercial break and think about also commercials too. Like we at the Frequency Live are gonna start looking for any sponsors that wants to advertise their product business on our show. So that's coming up soon as far as is concerned. And if you want to, develop commercial that it could be replayed along with during our show or even throughout the day on the radio station, get in contact with us. Hit us up on any of our social medias, or contact WMB1 Radio, or go to the Frequency Live social media. And if you're interested in marketing your product or business on our show or on the radio station itself. So this is an example of what we do. So we're gonna take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with the next two topics. Y'all listen to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. Yes, we are back. We are back. You are listening to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. I am your host, B. Carter.
Double D.
Charlie P, what's going on, man?
And let me say something. We got a program director in the background. Say something for the people.
I thought you were gonna fire him.
What's going on, my people?
See, you
man,
want to
see that?
get that Barry White voice.
That's it.
I'm the only bass person here.
Come on, sing.
Don't make me have to bust
Remember
out.
Barry White? Barry White's I'll take good care of you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a man's supposed to do. Be white. Be white. All right, let's get into the next topic.
Did he?
Did he?
He's still in jail, right?
Yeah. But let's really have a conversation about what's going on. Did he do like what?
I think he did.
Okay, let's. So what I'm aware of the charges is that he's being charged with sex trafficking, and I know a lot of people, when they think of sex trafficking, they think of kids. That's not what it is. It's basically that he is paying people over state lines to have sex. So that's trafficking. Okay. Also, he's being charged with, violence, gun ownership, things of that nature.
Mhm.
All right. So,
Excessive baby oil.
huh?
Purchases.
And having
Too much baby oil.
too much
No.
baby oil. But although Costco denied the fact that he sold him that much baby oil, so in my opinion, if we're really talking about it, because now it's getting to a point where you're seeing it in social media on a consistent basis, and it's getting overbearing where people just having fun with it. It's like 1,000 bottles of baby oil. That's a lot, right? Was it 1,000? It could have been a lot of baby oil, and I don't know. My thing is, who counted it? Who counted this baby oil? 1,000? Come on, man.
That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a long time to count.
Well, if it's on a pallet, guess what? It's easy to
Easy to count. That's what I was gonna say.
Sure. Okay.
But how's it be on a pallet in his mansion? Like, I don't know. I don't know. You got this.
Hey.
You got to ask questions.
Either way, it's a
all I
lot.
gotta say
Either
is
way,
not
it's-
bottled
Yeah, it
water.
was probably a lot of baby oil. Was it 1,000? Hearing that 1,000 number just makes it a little bit different.
yeah, but even if it's 500, like
100.
it's 100. It's
Listen,
it's over the top.
Guess what? You buy them big bottles like this in
true,
Dollar Tree.
true.
How long does that last you? It's gonna last you a while.
Yeah.
You got 1,000.
Yeah.
But
So
hey,
she's
Will
talking
Chamberlain messed with 20,000 men.
about-
I mean, with 20,000 people, his whole life. I don't
We
think
ain't
that's
never
true
know.
either.
Hey, you ever see that reel with it's the Bang Bang guy there? What's his name?
Oh, bang.
Bang Bang. He said if Will Chamberlain was doing this, he'd be bang bang bang.
Yeah.
Everything he does,
Yeah.
brush his teeth, bang 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 bang.
But yeah, we was like, I really want to get into this because really, let's really think about it. Because a lot of people are having fun with it. They're having fun with it, right? But there's a lot of like seriousness things that we need to talk about, right? All right, the baby oil. I don't think it was 1,000. I think it was a lot, but that 1,000 just makes it hit different. I think that he's also being treated like when you had, I think it was either Weinstein, Epstein, or one of the two that were like using his status and his money to force to have sex with people and everything like that. But he was able to have bail. Diddy's not. We had to look at it. Why was that possible? But then we also got to look at the lifestyle of Hollywood, the music industry in itself. And I'm sure there's a lot of other freak offs that's going on other than Diddy's house. And that's why I feel like Diddy's gonna be telling on people, because I think this is part of the Hollywood lifestyle.
You think so?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, look, I mean, this week came out that there's a tunnel in his house leading to Michael Jackson's former house.
Really?
Yeah, there was
Come
a
on.
tunnel. I seen it this week. They got a tunnel, and it's so right then and there. I mean, both of them got a reputation, right?
So, I mean, Berto, you said that it had nothing to do with minors.
No.
Okay.
No.
Maybe I agree with you.
No,
I don't. I'm trust your opinion.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is, wasn't there something about who was like the young Justin Bieber?
Yeah.
Like hanging out with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a minor at some time. Like,
Mhm.
At some time.
Oh, Usher was too. So
Yeah.
Right,
Now
so
I'll tell you a
I mean-
story about Usher. Here's the thing. And a lot
Usher
of
just deleted a bunch of shit on. I heard deleted a bunch of stuff on Instagram.
yeah.
So you don't know what to believe.
You don't know what to believe. But if for when Usher first came, this is what happened. When Usher first came into the music business, I want to say Andre Harrell discovered him. I think don't quote me on that. And they were looking when Diddy, and this is when Diddy started about to start Bad Boy. He started Bad Boy, and he worked with, now a lot of understand. Like Diddy had a great legacy, worked with Jodeci and Mary J. Blige and all these young artists. So did Usher's first album, everybody thinks Usher's first album was My Way. It wasn't. There was another album before that. It was, and he, it was a song called All I Do Is Think of You, holding on to someone new. Like, he was like 15. Diddy used to have this house where he had all his artists work, right? This is young Diddy. This is before, way before billionaire Diddy. And Usher was working with Devontae of Jodeci, and he was singing songs that were good songs, but they weren't hitting as much because he was talking about adult content versus content of his age. So that's when he went into working with Jermaine Dupri. So yes, Usher and Diddy has a relationship, and I'm sure Usher has seen a lot of things when he was in that particular house working on his album. Could he have been involved? Yes, but wasn't he involved forcefully? I don't think so.
I think it was a party, and they all came, and they knew what to expect.
Diddy was young. Like, people don't realize
just,
Diddy. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yep.
Diddy, he when he produced Mary J. Blige's first album, Diddy was only 22 years old. All right. When he did Jodeci, he was 20. Like, he was vice president of Uptown Records when he was 20 years old. So give 20 million years old that much power, that much success, and that money at that time. I'm sure he was wilding out. You know what I'm saying? And is so either using that his younger years to put this together to show all this craziness? I don't know. But I think that there's a lot of things that got to be put in perspective. Am I saying that he's innocent? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he's innocent.
Yeah, I don't think they have all this stuff.
Yeah,
arresting him, keeping him in jail for no reason.
But I think that a lot.
And one of the things they're keeping him in jail is because they're saying he was violent. And Weinstein raped somebody. Epstein raped somebody. Rape is violent. Sometimes it's violent. Period. You ask any victim, they're going to say it was violent. So that violent story that they're using against them is I mean, it's used, and that's the reason why he's in jail. But
maybe they have something else on him.
Yeah,
it's like, as far as like the violence goes. But I will say this, like, just my opinion. When you hear about like whoever Weinstein, I think you're talking about.
Yeah, Weinstein, the producer, and Epstein. Epstein.
You talk
between
about
both of them.
You talk about these like saying like rape or whatever, and I'm sure it was like justified, whatever. But I think like people, like when they see Diddy like kick someone on TV, like I think it hits home a little different when people see the violence for themselves rather than like
it depends who the prosecutor is, and some prosecutors may not think that I'm going to bring this up, and may not bring up, a video. They had the video, they bring it up. Epstein and Weinstein, both those guys, they probably didn't have anything like any kind of video footage showing how violent they were. It just so happens that P. Diddy, they had it, and they used it.
Do you think Oprah's going to feel any of this? Like, do you think she's involved somehow anyway?
No, and that's the thing. You got to really look at it. They're bringing out all these black celebrities, because, Puffy was he was a big influencer also. They're trying to tie Jay-Z into this, because they come from the same genre of music and they work together. They're trying to tie all kinds of people who are friends with Diddy, and obviously he was big in the black culture. Like now there's Oprah. I'm like,
yeah, but so hold on. You don't think that no one else is going to be involved?
I don't know.
Well, I think more people will be involved because they've done. I mean, Diddy wasn't doing all this stuff by himself.
No.
He wasn't making all these calls for himself.
Well,
he wasn't. people were transported to these locations and so on. So that becomes the conspiracy. You know.
So when Berto says, like, he's gonna talk, okay, right? He's gonna talk. Is he gonna like rat out people like no names, or is he gonna rat out Jay-Z?
I think Diddy's like I try to compare it to that movie American Gangster. Frank Lucas.
Yeah.
And when Frank Lucas was doing his dirt and they finally got him, and then he said, listen, because I want you to cheat, because I don't, he says, I'll snitch on the Italians and all that stuff. And he looked at him, he's like, oh, you want police too? Oh, you want everybody.
Yeah.
And I think that if Diddy's going down, he's gonna do the Frank Lucas.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's not just a one incident thing. It's a cold culture in that environment. And I'm sorry, some of these victims, I'm not saying they're not victims, but they can. I think that because when you have someone with money, and I'm playing devil advocate here, you have money, status, and that influence, that has a lot of power, especially when it comes to women. You know, if a guy has money and status, and it shouldn't be this way, it's the same. You know what I'm saying? And nobody wants to say it because we are here to protect women. But do you think that is an element of, all right, I'm going to deal with this. I'm going to put myself in this environment because I want to get this.
I mean, that's not right neither.
No, it's not right, but it's not being said. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot, we as society cannot talk about that because you're supposed to protect women like you should. It's like I even give up. What's that football player that was getting massages?
Deshaun Jackson.
All right, so Deshaun Watson, what he was doing, he was getting massages, but yet he was getting like happy endings, happy endings or sexual favors.
Yeah.
Now he did it. He got a lot of them, right?
Yeah.
All right. Some of the girls weren't doing that, but some girls was. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But nobody's talking about the ones that are doing it. You know what I'm saying? And it's creating an environment where women who are legit are coming in. I just want to give you a massage. Y'all put them in an uncomfortable situation. You know, you're creating an environment where it's okay. You have 10 massages, but out of the 10, 2 are not down like that. Now you're getting charged. It just takes one. Just take one.
Yeah.
You know, so, but we can't talk about that. Like, come on, these young football players.
Oh, believe me, they're talking about it because as soon as it goes to trial deposition, it's all coming out.
Oh yeah.
And they're throwing 20
I'll
questions.
give you an example. I was in Miami one time, right? And this is where I'm just telling you how money and status can have an effect on people. I'm in Miami and I'm in VIP. And the Cowboys, I think it was the Cowboys and Dolphins were there. And it was only some Cowboys, not the whole team. It was probably like 5, right? 5 or 6, whatever. Out of those 5 or 6 guys, there was 20 girls cramped up in VIP. Cramped up like this. All right? They're cramped up. And it's almost, it look like I'm sitting in VIP and I'm sitting on the couch. And I love the people watch, right?
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, yo, these girls look like they're waiting to get picked.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like.
Yeah.
You know, and it was even in a moment where y'all literally, you know, I'm pouring a drink and we all chipped in for a bottle. It wasn't like one person paid for it, right? Yeah. And we're in the VIP and stuff like that. And girls, it so happened I was paying for the bottle, and the girls coming up to me thought I was the head guy. And way she was treating me because she wanted to hang with us and this and that. I'm like, I know what you was doing.
Yeah.
Nah, get out of here. I actually pointed to my friend. It was him. He's the one. And she went over there. And it wasn't even him either. He's like, fuck off, Berto, yo. You know what I'm saying? But this is what
she knew your name?
Huh? No, my friend, because I pointed to my friend, goes, nah, it's not my bottle, it's his bottle. That's what I said.
She thought he was a running back. She thought he was a running back.
She thought I was, yo, for real. She thought I was the big dude because I had the bottle in my hand and I was pouring it for myself. Right. And I was like, nah, it's him. He's like, oh, fuck off. Why you said that over here? You know what I'm saying? But that's when I'm just using that small of an example, which is not no big deal, of the lifestyle when you have that status and you have that money and that stuff, and you can get caught up. Like I always talk about the 7 deadly sins: lust,
Are you saying that women chase money?
just like men chase pussy.
Yep.
That's what it is, yo. Like men's money it has the same power as the woman's private parts, and that's just the way it is. And it's coming so transactional that we're getting these free calls.
Well,
But I probably get killed for this, but I'm not lying, yo. It is what it is, yo. You ever wonder, you see this guy with his beautiful, gorgeous girl, nice girl, and he's like, yo, how does he get her? Then okay.
Like Bill Belichick. Bill Belichick.
And that's what we're gonna get into. Yeah. That is the next topic.
And the Raiders coach.
And the Raiders coach.
The owner.
Yep.
So let's get into that. Dating up and dating down.
Are you talking like an age thing? Like an age or?
So here's the thing. We'll talk about we'll get into the age thing. All right. So we have a scenario where, and anybody saw the meme or the post where owner of the Raiders, my team.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever saw this guy,
Handsome fella.
yeah.
Very.
Anyway, great haircut. How old is his
26, I believe.
Yeah.
26? And he's like 60 something.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
He's up there more.
yeah. I think he's older than that.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Yeah, he
60s,
could be around there. Yeah.
Yeah, he's in his 60s. He's in his 60s, and he has a 26-year-old girlfriend. And he said that when he first met her, she didn't even know who he was. He didn't know he was a millionaire. Or
Billionaire.
She didn't know.
He said that she was attracted to my smile.
Mhm.
Yo,
He's 69 years old.
he's 69 and she's 26,
Mhm.
and she's trying to say she didn't know that I was a billionaire. Yeah.
Well, if he looked like his father, I can get it, right? His father had some swag to him, he's cool.
Even it looked like his father, yo.
He don't
Like,
look
come
his
on,
father.
man.
Well, what about Belichick?
And, well, I bet she knew who Bill Belichick was, and she's
I mean-
young too. How old is she?
Oh, she's 24 or something.
Yeah,
Right?
or maybe,
I don't know.
or she
She's
might be
young,
like
young 20s.
she might be late 20s, early 30s.
Let me see. I'll call her up right
She
now.
ain't 30.
Yeah.
She ain't 30.
But if he's not Bill Belichick, is he getting
Yeah, so
that?
he's not a billionaire, but he's got $1 million.
Yeah,
He's
he's
got a-
Bill
he's got-
Belichick.
he's got a
Now he
few
has the
million. Yeah.
influence and status.
Yeah.
Like that's a flex.
That's yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So let me ask you this: is like, it's almost like, all right, you're a millionaire, billionaire, and you're dating a 26-year-old. What does she have to offer you?
Right.
Like at the end of the day, logically, right? So is that dating down?
I mean, if you're 69, like the Raiders owner, if you're Belichick 71 or something, I mean, if you don't want to be or care if you have a relationship and you just want arm candy or something, I don't know. Like, is that the thought process?
I don't know.
I mean,
like, but
I think they were friends, right? And it led to maybe,
But with Belichick,
yeah.
I heard that Belichick met her on an airplane going to Florida, and they met on the airplane, and then he broke up with his girlfriend and like hooked up with her. It's the timeline I read.
I'll believe some of that, right?
Can't be.
Because
what plane? Because you know
He-
he's flying
yeah.
first class.
yeah, I mean, there was some kind of relationship, whether he wants to admit it or not. I think, whether it led to, him kissing her or hugging her
Yeah.
or, playing footsies or something, whatever. But it's, I think between the, both scenarios, I think there was a friendship that led to a kiss or a hug or whatever. And now it ended up being a relationship, But Belichick got to watch out because he got captured on a ring camera leaving
Really?
her house. So, they say the ring cameras could get captured, hacked or whatever.
Yeah.
But guess what? That
When was that? When
there was like a week ago. He's leaving the house. He's got putting the shirt off. He's got a t-shirt or something, and he's walking down the stairs, and it's on her ring phone,
Oh, you didn't
on
know
her
that?
on her ring
No.
camera.
it's on his girlfriend's ring camera?
Yeah.
Why did she share it? Like,
That's what I'm saying. Somebody shared it, but they say that you can hack those pretty easily, and
yeah,
but,
it's tough to believe anything nowadays
yeah.
with AI and all that stuff.
and so let me ask you this question. So what if a woman, let's flip it. A woman is successful. She has money and everything like that.
Demi Moore, right? Did she have a?
Well, no, but that's age. But
Right.
but because she dated Austin Kutcher, and which was less younger, but he was just as successful. I'm talking about the successful aspect of it, where all right, you have a woman who is, you know, is getting paid a lot of money, is worth a lot, and dates a guy who has less money than her. Is that dating down to a woman?
Yeah, J Lo did that. Didn't you?
Was that- Yeah,
one of
dancer.
J Lo's
she
husbands
did the
The
dance.
dancer.
dancing.
So is that dating down? It's like I don't want to focus on just the top tier, the 1% of the people. Just like say if you had a woman that's making $300,000 a year and she dates a guy that's only making like $70,000 a year.
So
Is that dating down?
I don't think so.
But how do you think a woman? I wish Jasmine was here to answer this question. Because how would a woman think of it?
In my opinion, like man or woman, like if you meet someone and like they are like a 10 of being like so nice, like kind, caring, affectionate, like everything you want in a woman or a man, like I don't care. I don't think the money matters to me. Like if someone's
But that's how men think. Y'all thinking like because you're a man.
Well, with that woman that's making 300,000, and this young dude's coming in, and giving her compliments that she doesn't receive from anybody.
Yeah.
Or he's probably the sweetest, charmingest guy that she ever met, and made her feel good. And every time they spoke, all right, I'm going to take you out, which led to something else.
Yeah.
So
But that's I don't even think that
it's
happens.
good for her head, though.
But
you
I
know?
don't even think that happens now in society today. It probably
Yeah.
that's how it should be. But I feel like if you're a nice guy, we'll eliminate the money. You're a nice guy, and you're doing your compliment her and everything like that. Nowadays, girls look at that as creepy.
Mhm.
They're like or soft or whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So and you got to find a balance. And I like I know I'm gonna get shit for this. I think women are attracted to everything they don't want.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So with a woman, like how many I have conversations with women and women says, no, you at least gotta be on my level.
Mhm.
You at least gotta be on my. What does that mean?
Yeah,
men
what's
men
your
don't
level?
talk like that.
What's your level? Though?
Yeah, but men don't talk like that. Men will date someone who works at Burger King,
Yeah.
and help her raise her up. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You never hear a woman because I will help raise him up.
Mhm.
So it's different. I understand there's different dynamics. Women are different dynamics, but that's why I was saying dating up, dating down is like when men will date a 26-year-old that really cannot. I'm a millionaire, and what she's bringing to the table, whatever, I'll date quote unquote down.
Yeah.
But if the woman's a millionaire, majority of the time she's not dating down. You got to be on her level.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I do. I mean, I see that point. It's realistic.
Yeah, it's realistic. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Are people living the way we should, dating the way we should, and what Charlie spoke about how a person makes you feel, how much effort a person, like a lot of girls, like and guys too. If a girl was like always calling you every day, calling you every day, calling you every day, you're not gonna really pay much attention to her. Right, even though she really likes you,
Yeah.
she really wants to be with you,
Yeah.
and she'll take care of you, and you're not giving the time of it. And women do that all the time.
Yeah.
You know,
That is a thing.
it is a thing
When
where
you give someone attention.
yeah, you're giving attention. So now you don't give attention.
Yeah.
Right, and it's almost like it's
It makes them like you.
yeah, it makes their, and it's funny. I just saw a thing. Damn.
I hate those games, bro.
I do too.
If I like someone, I'm gonna show that I like someone, and
Yeah.
that probably hurts me or shoots me in the foot. But that's the only way I know how to be.
Know what is my favorite scene in a movie? Is in Love, no, not Love Bag, is in Brown Sugar. Anybody that ever saw the movie Brown Sugar, watch Brown Sugar. At the end of Brown Sugar, the Brown Sugar is about these two people, a female and a male. They were friends since they were kids, and that their main thing they had in common was the music of hip hop. And they grew up, and they both became successful. They both had separate relationships, but they always had this close friendship. and they never really got together like that romantically.
Yep.
It happened once. It happened once before one of them got married, but they never pursued it because they just were so loyal to their friendship. But they really were meant to be. They were great friends and they were attracted to each other and they wanted to be with each other. And at the end of the movie, where he was like, yo, the guy was like, I'm going for this because, yo, this is my soulmate. And he plastered a note, right? In which he said that, you know, when she was going to marry somebody else, how he approached her. He goes, if it was me, I would just write a note and write a yes box, a no box, or a maybe box, and have you answer it. And how at the end of the movie, he plastered on the window. He goes, would you go out with me? Yes, no, maybe. You know what I'm saying? As corny as it is.
Yeah.
And you think that when you watch it, it's like, but if you do that for a girl, or a girl does that for a guy, you're not gonna get the return you think you're gonna get. Y'all gonna get clowned on social media. Y'all gonna get like talked about in the group chat because you're being nice.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're gonna look like, I'm gonna mess with you, I'm dating down, but I'm gonna go with this asshole or this bitch and freaking and test my fortitude on that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, what do you think, Charlie? Am I going too deep?
Man, I know that yes. Yeah, we had yes, no, or maybe, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think when things get creepy, right?
Yeah.
It's because people are rushing things, right? Get to know somebody. Don't be creepy like, I don't know, whatever a young girl may think you're creepy on base. Hey, you're so cute. You're this, you're that. And they look at me as an old man and say, man, that old man that's creepy, right? You got to take your time with things, and buy a drink, buy her a drink, get to have a conversation with her where she doesn't come off and say you're creepy. But yes, no, maybe I wouldn't do that.
I think
I had other lines that I used from the Berto Carter book of one-liners. I used them, right?
Yeah, I got no one-liners, yo. My game is whack, yo. I'm corny.
Yo, baby,
my game is high.
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't know what to say.
If that don't work, oh well.
I get nervous talking to girls, yo. It's like people think that is like, yo, I get nervous, like, yo, like, because I don't like getting rejected.
Yeah.
That's the worst feeling.
Who
That's
does?
the longest walk back, yo. Like, you know what I'm saying? You finally get the nerve to approach the girl, and it's just like, thanks you, but no thank you.
Yeah. No one likes to get rejected.
Yeah.
See, he seems to get tongue tied.
Yo.
There's been some
Yo,
times
that-
that we go out.
Yeah.
I look at him like, huh?
Yo,
What you mean?
I can't talk to women, and then you get this that walk is just a numb walk, yo. What she say? She don't even want to know. Yo, you ready to go? Because you don't want to see her again. You don't want to look in her eye because she probably saying to her girl like, "You try to holler at me." And like there's times where I'll try to approach a girl and she'll see me coming, know what my intentions were, and she was like, "Yeah, yo," from a distance. Fuck you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, she saved you time, bro.
Yeah, she did. I know, but you know something? I respect you tell me the truth and trying to just like, ignore me or trying to be a bitch. Like,
Listen,
no, I'm not interested.
There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
There is nothing worse than a woman not just saying, "Hey, I'm not interested." I'd rather no problem.
Yeah.
But to beat around the bush, let's go out Monday, and then
Yeah.
just say you're not interested.
Or they give you the wrong phone number, or they ghost you, or whatever.
You're not
like
gonna hurt
that.
my feelings.
Oh, they did?
Yo, like
I heard this one time. It was like, oh no, we can just be friends, but you can take me out to dinner. I'm like,
what?
Yeah.
nah.
Yeah. And then what if they don't say that and you say, we could go out for dinner. They go out for dinner, they have dinner, and then they ghost you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
right. Yeah.
I was like, I just go.
Or sharing a dinner, right? You take someone out. I'll take you out for dinner. You got to take me out. You know,
They ain't trying that.
but
shit.
they ain't
Nah,
trying that,
nah,
right?
Yeah,
So many
that's another
girls-
thing, Charlie. When you go out to take these girls, because if I'm gonna go on a first date, I want to go somewhere nice. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
I like dates. I like dinner dates. My boys clown me on that shit. I like that because
Nah.
I like having conversations, and a lot of girls don't like having conversations anymore either. Right? Sometimes I get too deep. I do get too deep, and they get annoyed by that because I'm literally, we think I'm here for to freaking eat. No, I'm actually trying to get to know you.
Right, right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
the whole point.
Yes, it's the whole point, and they can't handle that.
Mm.
I said, so what? We're just here to eat, and then I don't know. You don't understand. I'm spending just $300 on this damn meal. You know what I'm saying? And it's like
$300. I don't know where you're going, but
listen, I'm bougie. I'm bougie.
this is a good conversation for Jasmine because Jasmine always those important questions on a first date, like what's your intentions? Like I don't want to just go sip a drink and chit chat with you. Like I want to get to know you, like you say, and this is gonna go anywhere.
Yeah,
Don't waste I don't want to waste my time.
yeah. I want to know the person who's in front of me. Like, yeah, I like you. I'm attracted to you. I probably do want to have sex with you, but I do want to get to know you. Like that. Cause let's be real. Like that's what it is. Like it's all visual. It's like, damn, she's all right. You know what I'm saying?
That's to get you. The front
Like, yeah,
door.
she's all right. But then it goes, okay, once you hit it and you get nut. Now, why do I really like you? I want to get to know you. You know what I'm saying? But that's the motivation to get to know you is sexual because we're visual.
Well, attraction. You
But
be
for me
attracted
to see you again and spend time with you, and like I want to know who you are. I really do. So I have these deep conversations, and if you cannot have a conversation, there's no point of having sex with you because now I'm gonna be sitting in my bed and like I gotta pick up my mother because I can't talk to you. I need to be able to talk to you.
We call Edmund.
Yeah, Edmund, call me. That's the worst feeling, right? Sitting next to somebody who you can't had sex
If you
with,
can't have a
talk,
conversation,
you can't talk
if
to
it
them.
doesn't flow naturally,
Yeah.
it's not a good.
I need
good
conversation. I don't know. Maybe I'm corny. Me, I'm getting old. I need conversation. I need you to speak. I want to know your opinions. I like to have little mini debates because that's how you learn. Like let's have fun. Let's have fun.
You gotta find
physically and mentally.
Gotta find out what the intellect is.
Yeah. And if I can't have a conversation with you, then I'm dating down. That's how I look at it.
Yeah. So like when you talk about like dating down, dating up, like to me it has nothing to do with money. It's all everything else. Conversation and like who they are as a person, what their values are. That's like up or down for me.
Well, it's almost like settling.
Yeah,
settling. Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
date up or date down.
Yeah. So settling. That's a good. When you talk about money, you talk about settling because someone could be equal footing as far as money, but to me, you could be dating down because they're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So then you could have someone that doesn't have much money, but you're not settling because they're such a good person or whatever, right?
True. Yeah. So that's what are you bringing today? But why am I dating you? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Outside of the physical aspect of it, because at the end of the day,
because you really have to see the whole picture.
Yeah.
Meaning finances, family lifestyle, goals, whatever you have.
How they grew up, because
you got to see all that. And if you can't see what's in front of you, has maybe one or two. If they don't have all, you gotta.
If
you can't waste your time.
If your values and things don't align. No, I just like I date Latinas a few times, right? And I'm just realizing this is that like that culture can be a little misogynistic. Where like you have your different roles. They expect a man to be this way and a woman to be like a woman supposed to be in the kitchen doing cleaning. Like, but I'm not like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm more like just broad, whatever
remember too. They're
like I could if that ends up being that way, I'm fine with that. If that's how the culture that we are building in our own relationship, I don't want to take the Cape Verdean culture way of doing it, or the Portuguese, or the Latin, or Asian, or Indian, their way. Like I like to create my own culture, and what I've learned is like different cultures have different aspects and roles. And the Latin culture, it could be very misogynistic, where a woman cannot. You're among the men, and they're watching sports and this and that. A woman cannot come in and like. You got to be over there. Like, no, like I would want my girl next to me. You know what I'm saying?
But that's upbringing. and what they're around. Because you got to remember, that's all old school stuff.
That's culture.
You
That's
know
the
what I'm
old school
saying?
culture of it. Yeah.
And it's not only Latinos; it's even in our own.
Yeah,
Cape
yeah.
Verdean
And Cape
influences,
Verdean, I can't live.
same thing.
I wasn't raised like that because
Yeah.
maybe my mother's so independent and
Yeah.
self-sufficient. So, but maybe it's not the Latin culture per se. Maybe,
But
it's
they
the
do have
old
strong
school-
personalities.
Yeah, it's the old school way of doing things that some people take on because they're taught that culture. That's the way it should be.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I like to, whoever I end up being, let's create our own culture in our own home. And it's gonna it has to be built through conversation and understanding and respect and loyalty to each other to build that culture within our home. I don't want I don't want to take the culture that your grandmother lived, and that's how we're gonna live in our house. No, that's not fair.
What's going to determine your relationship is the communication between the two.
Yeah.
If there's something not being said, if you're holding back something, and if something's bothering you, or you're not agreeing with something, if you don't say it, and she's just thinking, oh well, I think, well, he's not saying that, and so we're going to keep going this way.
No.
But by you not having that conversation, how's that going to direct your path with her in a relationship?
Yeah.
Because you have to compromise, you have to come to the middle.
Yes.
And without having these conversations, it'll never go to where it needs to go.
Exactly. So communication develops the culture you have within each other. And I don't know. I just noticed that. I just had to just bring that. You know what I'm saying?
I get it. No.
What do you think, Charlie? Like, because you've been married for a very long time, and I don't know how
Make sure you answer these questions right, Charlie.
I don't know how if the culture.
I wear the pants in the fan.
Shoot!
Charlie's in trouble now.
He could come next week like all kind of lashes on his back.
Berto, I can't do the show.
I can't do the show. Did the generation before you affect how the culture you were going to, or her on her side, affect a culture that you're gonna have in your home, or did you adopt that culture because it worked for you, or did you develop your own?
No, well, it was kind of with Michelle. She was already single mom, taking care of her kids, and so a lot of stuff she was doing, she was the only one that had to do it. So when it came to certain things around the house, and like when I moved in with her, she was like on point, and I would do whatever I can to help out. But Michelle cleaning is great. Charlie's cleaning is just good, and so she's like, that's not good enough for me. So she would do it. But I mean, she forget it. It's either her way, she'll do it. She rather, instead of me helping her out, she rather do it herself.
Right.
And that's with us. There's some things that.
Was that a struggle? Was that a struggle at first? Because the whole, your way of living and her way of living are two different things. Like, that's her culture of how she wants to live. And was that a tough thing to
No, I kind of
compromise?
I like you, we were raised by a bunch of women in our family, so we knew what they were doing. So it was easy for me to adjust. And then there was things that she wasn't used to, like, I'll take care of my clothes, I'll do my laundry, I'll do all those things that, I didn't do my own personal stuff. And then, so it was easy for us to adapt, only just because of the personalities we both are. So
yeah.
But there's a friend of mine that he doesn't do anything in his house. He owns a home, but he don't do anything in it. Clean his own laundry, ironing his clothes.
Jeez.
Nothing. Take the trash out, but I mean, this is how he has it.
Yeah.
But that's the way,
Yeah.
But I
That's the dynamic of their relationship.
It was easy for me.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't, I say I got a first round draft pick, no trade clause.
So you dated up.
Yeah, I did. Hey, I mean, I joked around when I seen her. She walked across the street. I said, I'm going to marry that woman. Right. And then 2-3 years later, Danny Garrison is my witness. And then we got married. But, I always thought, Nah, that will never happen. And it did happen just by me being me and having a conversation like we talked about. It started with those conversations. You know, the main event made a lot of marriages, and made a lot of divorces.
Yeah.
So, and that's where it started, there. And so, but no, no, I don't have any problem sitting around, but I have no problem doing my part too.
Yeah.
All right. So
She wants me to clean my man cave, and I've been telling her, yeah, I'll get to it.
yeah. So no, it's I think that we could go. We'll hashing this on this conversation again. Well, I think even culturally differences
Yeah.
in relationships and how that affects the dynamic, especially if you're dating outside your race or ethnicity. The trials and tribulations you're going to go through and how you should handle it if you really want to make this work, because that has an effect of if you're going to date up and date down, because some people will rather date in their own culture because that's what they're comfortable with. They're dating down doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And then in yeah, you're comfortable but you're not growing. You know, so I personally would like to develop in my household, our household, our own culture, and that could be a combination of each other's opinion. And but that's a different conversation for another show. So we're gonna take one more music break, and we're gonna come back with the final
Wait,
thoughts.
but did he do it? P did he do it?
He did do it, but now it gets to a point. Is it worth what he did 20 years, 30 years of his life?
What you think, Derek?
I mean, I think that he's not in jail for no reason, and I think we're gonna find out more and more.
Yeah.
And I don't think all this shit just happened 20 years ago. I think it's happened even recently. So, not to get back in this conversation,
It
but
just we offered a question. I think we should give an answer.
Yeah,
So that's right.
you're right.
yeah. So I'm curious if, because I thought I heard like Ben Affleck and J Lo like recently got divorced. Is it because something came to light about J Lo and Diddy? So I think there's dynamics that we might hear.
I don't think
Yeah.
so.
No,
No.
it was, it was just coincidence.
Yeah,
It's just
No.
that
I think they
That's just
wanted
the characters all been with
the
each
mediator,
other. Yeah,
and
it's
the
just I
media
don't.
doing stuff.
I think it's just too deep.
You're trying to connect all the
We're gonna
people
find
to
out,
it.
though.
Yeah,
find
we're
out.
gonna find out. We're gonna,
and I think he did.
it would be cool if this trial could be televised
Yeah.
and really understand it, because it's just like all the stuff through social media is just like, okay.
Yo, we need to be on vacation that week.
Yeah. That's good. Shoot. So, all right, we're gonna be right back. You listen to the Frequency Live on WMB1 Radio. We'll take a commercial break, and we're gonna come back with the final thoughts. And Derek has the responsibility of doing the ending monologue of the show this week. So we'll be right back after this commercial break. Yes, we are back. We are back. We're back. Y'all listen to W. I keep on going to the radio station. Y'all listen to the Frequency Live on WNB1 Radio. I'm your host, B. Cotta.
Double D, Director Murs.
And Charlie Perry.
And we got Edmund in the back, our program director, handling everything on the stream.
That's right.
Yeah, baby. I'll take care of you, baby.
It's the midnight hour is about to be approaching.
Oh, shoot. Wet. Let's get into the final thoughts.
Is this the end? I gotta know. I gotta know. I gotta know. Is this the end?
It's the end of the Frequency Live for this week. I want to thank all our listeners. I want to thank all our watchers. And I want to remind everybody that's listening on the Frequency Live who will log on throughout the week to watch the show, listen to the show. Download the WNB1 Radio app, and you can listen to us live wherever, whenever you want to. So download the WNB1 Radio app. And also, if you're interested in marketing your product or your business, get in contact with us on WNB1 Radio. Social medias or the Frequency Live social media. If you want to just post your products during our show or have a little sponsor of a segment on the Frequency Live, you could do that too. We have a lot of options to help local products or even national or statewide businesses and products for you guys on this show, the Frequency Live on WNB1 Radio. So that's that. Charlie, how was your final thoughts? What's your thoughts of the show?
Well, show was great as always. Doesn't matter what we talk about. I like being there. I love being there. And as far as politics, I mean, when it comes to the border, the whole country wants us to straighten out that thing down there and get it well taken care of. Let's see, P. Diddy, a man, get used to that orange suit, and I feel bad. Like LL Cool J said, I feel bad for his kids. They're going through a lot, and and as far as dating up, dating down, I've been on both sides of that, and I think that was a good topic. So, and you picked that right out of your hat, man, right there.
Don't get my mind going,
But good job.
Thank you. D, what do you think, man? What's your final thoughts?
Great show as always, Charlie. Thanks for coming on tonight on the
thank you.
stage. Yeah, good show, good topics.
Yes, definitely. Edmund, what's going on? What's your final thought?
Great show as always, man.
Yeah.
Got to keep it going.
Yes, got to keep.
You know what I mean? Got to keep it live.
Yeah.
Locked down.
Over there.
Excuse me,
See,
Mr. Perry.
Yes, I thought it was a great show. This is what we do on Frequency Live. We're leading into vibrational experiences. That's what the acronym LIVE means. So every show from now on, we're going to have a thing called the ending monologue, and each individual co-host is going to have the responsibility, separate weeks, to just really vent to what they really want to talk about. And I did a little example of it last show. This show is Double D's return. Double D's turn for ending monologue to end the show. What do you have for us, D?
I just want to say that September is Suicide Awareness Month. I'm in an age where I know unfortunately, many people that have committed suicide. It's such a sad, tragic thing. So I feel like, we all need to do our part to try to, encourage people to live life and try to be as friendly as we can and positive to them. And, it's not just the people that, you think are depressed. It's people that are, who's the main comedian that committed suicide? Who am I talking?
Friends, right?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Oh,
I always think of him
Robin
as like, here's a guy,
Williams,
the life of the party, so it affects everyone, and it's unfortunate a lot of people do that. So I feel like, if we could all do our part to just try to reach out to people, check on our friends, and see if we can make a difference in people's lives. That's all.
All right, Dick D.
Good job, man.
Good job. That's the ending monologue. So I'd like to thank all our listeners and watchers, and we'll see you next week. I'm gonna end it with a little promotion for the radio station. Have a good night.
Good night, y'all.
I would like to introduce
Okay, let's